Oh, hi friends. ThatPsySquatch here. Today we're on the Slaughtercraft server, and we're gonna make a moss farm. But not just any moss farm, we are gonna make an absolutely mega moss farm. So let's get to it. Now, if y'all remember from our last episode, we finally made our insane new super smelter system, which if you recall, does an entire stack of items in about 11 seconds. And if you happen to miss the episode because it was released during the holidays, feel free to check it out after this video. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But like I said, today we are going to make a moss farm. Now, not only is this moss farm going to be able to produce just a metric butt ton of moss, but it's also going to produce bone meal. And in fact, it's going to produce enough bone meal to resupply itself, as well as to help supply other farms, like this mushroom farm right here behind us. Now, since this mushroom farm is going to be able to benefit from the bone meal that the moss farm produces, I figure a great location for it would actually be right up here in this little alcove. So if we just fly right on up here, we can see that I've already done a little bit of calculations and figured out where I want things placed. But I think this is going to be a great location for it. Now, to kick things off, let's start by building some squares. Now, these things that have already been placed down, don't you worry about those. We will actually talk about all that stuff later. Now that we have our two beautiful 13 by 13 squares, you're not going to believe it, but we're going to build another square. Nope, I know, crazy. What is this guy up to? Well, now we're going to build an 8 by 8 too tall square. So that's 3 tall. I said 2 tall. Y'all heard me, right? 2 tall. And so we'll just go around this entire perimeter, and I'll be right back with you. And with that, peeps, we're done with the inner circle. It's beautiful. It's a masterpiece. We might as well just stop the build here. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly are these boxes for? Well, essentially, we're making 8 stone generators. And we're going to use those stone generators to, you guessed it, to generate stone, which we could then turn into moss, and then we could farm the moss by these pistons, which we are just now about to place. So let's get to that. First, we need to place 6 unmovable blocks, or immovable blocks, which is why we have the obsidian, and then in front of those, we need to place pistons. And we need to do that around all 4 corners of both of these modules. So I've already kind of mapped that out. So right here, we'll place our obsidian, and then here we'll place our pistons. All pistons facing forward. Now, oh God, I'm stuck. Nope, not stuck. And like I said, we're going to go around and do that on all 4 sides. And now that we have our pistons and our obsidian in place, let's go ahead and get these trenches filled up with water and lava for these stone generators. Actually, let's go ahead and start with the water. First things first. Right here, directly where the pistons are at, you need 1 extra opening on the side. On both sides, we're going to place water in each of those spots, and then we are going to place another block on top of it. Now, what this is going to do is we have the obsidian here so that the pistons on the other side don't actually push stone into the water source, which would then break the farm. And then we also have it so that this is blocked off so that the lava that we are placing here doesn't flow into the corners and then break the farm that way. Now, as for the lava, let's go ahead and grab 6 out of here. 6 right there. And then right up here on the top, we're going to place a lava source in each one of these spots. Now, for a quick sanity check, we should still have our water source here on this side, and we should still have our water source on this side. And before I inevitably jump into this lava myself, let's go ahead and cover that up. Perfect. Okay. And now we're going to repeat that 7 more times. All right, gang, here we are. We have all of our water sources filled, and we have all of our lava sources filled. Now, next up, the part we've all been waiting for. Let's start working on the logic. All right, now first thing for the logic, let's go ahead and get these stone generators working. And for that, we're going to need a hopper clock. Now, y'all know what to do. We've all made hopper clocks before. We'll just go ahead and set up a little 2x2 6 spot right here. And then we need hopper down. Another hopper into that bad boy. We need a comparator out, and then We'll need redstone, redstone, sticky piston, and sticky piston. And oh my god, let me out. And then finally, we need to place a redstone block right there. Okay, now before we put the items in here to start the clock, we actually need one more thing. We just need to put a redstone torch right there. And this is actually what we're going to use to send on the signal. Now, let's go ahead and get that set up really fast. I think what I want to have is I want things to trigger here. So trigger here first, and then here, and then there, and then finally there. And then likewise on this side, I want to trigger here first, and then here, and then there, and then over there. So to set that up, we should just have to place a redstone dust here, and then we'll drag this all the way across these pistons. Looks like that reaches all the way. Perfect. Now we need a delay of 2 ticks here before the redstone signal proceeds on. So we'll place one of these guys here, and then we'll place 2 repeaters, both on single ticks. And then we also need 2 repeaters here on single ticks. And I don't think the redstone is actually going to have enough to get all the way through. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll send this guy over here. Oops, missed the spot. All right, that reaches all the way over. Perfect. And then we have our 2 ticks here. So we should be able to carry this all the way forward. And then here we'll place 2 more ticks. And then that should, yep, that activates them all. And then finally we need 1 more delay of 2 ticks right there. And this should carry us all the way around. Okay, perfect. Okay, and now that we have the redstone set up for the pistons, we should just be able to put 5 items right here into this hopper. And then that should be just enough time to allow each of these pistons to generate stone instead of cobblestone. And so if any of these create any cobblestone, we're actually going to have to increase the timer. But let's go ahead and start off with 5. That should be enough. Okay. 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 And so far, so good. Except for things are going to stop because we've reached the push limit, but that's perfectly fine. Now, as for the off button, can I just do this? Yes. Okay, perfect. All right, peeps. And that's it for the stone generators. So now let's figure out how we're going to actually get the moss dispensing. Now, the cool thing about converting other blocks into moss is that we can actually do that from above rather than having a moss block hidden below. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to pillar up 2 spots, and then right here we will place a moss block. Now, facing into this moss block, we are actually going to need a dispenser. I guess I'll hop down here. So dispenser facing into the moss block. And then behind that, we will feed 3 hoppers into the back of the dispenser. Now, right here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to connect this dispenser up to the last section of pistons that gets triggered. And so for that, we could just carry this redstone right up into here. And then we are going to need a block here, a block here. We'll need a repeater. Wait, is that the right spot? Yeah. We'll need a repeater here set to 2 ticks. And then we'll do a repeater here set to 4 ticks. We'll close that off right there. Bring up this redstone dust 1 more. And then lastly, we're going to need a piston facing down right on top of the moss. Let's go ahead and get rid of these. Now, the reason for this setup is when this last section of pistons gets triggered, that is then going to first hit this repeater, which is going to trigger the dispenser, which is going to then bone meal this moss. And then on a delayed tick, it's going to activate the piston afterwards. Now, the reason for that is because when this moss is bone mealed, it has a chance of growing something like grass or an azalea bush or carpet right here. And then that would cause subsequent dispensers to then not actually do anything. And so this piston will actually just continuously break that item, that whatever gets generated right here. And so then the farm can just keep running. Now, let me go ahead and set that up for the other side, and then we'll see if this is actually working. And now we have a moss grower set up right here, and we have one more set up over there. I've already gone ahead and put a little bit of bone meal into this dispenser on both sides. So let's go ahead and see if this is working. But we're not totally done yet. We still have to do, just hold on. So we'll go ahead and turn this on. There we go. My spinach puffs. Why is there cobblestone? You, get away. Maybe that was just a one-time fluke for turning on the machine. No! You get away, cobblestone. Okay. All right, let's just watch this for a second. See if any more appear. I think that was just an issue with starting the machine, which I'm gonna have to remember. Well, it seems like everything is working as it should, but as you can see, we have a lot of loot. So let's go ahead and turn this off. And then we'll go ahead and figure out the loot system. Now, as for collecting the loot, I want to use water streams. Now, for that, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and break this spot right here. Place a dispenser there, and then I'm also going to place one, I think right here would be good. And then over here, I would actually like to place two. Ooh. Now, I don't actually think that the position of these is really going to matter because all that we really want is just the water to dispense out and then cause the drops to get pushed kind of all over the place. Okay, now the logic for the water dispensers, this actually shouldn't be too difficult. What we are going to do is we're just going to take a signal out of here, and then we need to turn this into a monostable circuit. So we'll place down a sticky piston and then just a block on top of it. And then from there, we just need to do... I think we'll do... and now basically what we are just doing is we are trying to create enough of a delay to trigger all these dispensers twice, because we need to dispense the water and then we need to retract the water. So for the delay, so we're going into the monostable circuit, and then we'll do just a repeater on one tick. I don't know why I put you there. You can go right there. And then we'll have two more repeaters. Okay, I got myself a little confused. Let's see. Monostable circuit into one tick, into a block, into two repeaters, both set to 4 ticks. We'll have another set of blocks right here. And then this is where we should be able to step up and over. So here and here. And then everything else is just redstone. So we can bring you up, put down a repeater on each side. And then now we just have to connect this up to all of these dispensers. Okay, that should be fine. We'll do repeater here. And just right over that. And then we'll go this way. Let's go ahead and do one more repeater for good measure. And we'll bring this all the way over and onto there. Okay, so that should be all 4 dispensers covered. Let's go ahead and grab the other side while we're at it. And then we need to grab a bunch of water. Grab all those guys. And now we'll just place a water bucket in each one of these dispensers. And then peeps, we'll see if this is working. All right, gang, and there we have it. We have all the stone generators hooked up. We have both of the moss dispensers hooked up. We have all 8 of the water dispensers hooked up. So now, let's go ahead and see if it's working. We'll just flick this on. All right, there goes the water. Oh, and it retracted. Perfect. Hold on, gang. Something is not working right. It looks like the water dispensers are only triggering half the time. So I did something wrong here. That doesn't look right. Okay, let me figure out what I did. Oh. Gang, this has to be on 2 ticks. Okay, that looks better. Yep, that's what I was expecting to see. Now, these should be dispensing every single time. Awesome, okay. And we're already out of bone meal. That's fine. That's perfectly fine, because we have to get all that set up. So let's go ahead and turn this off, because the water dispensers are working exactly as they should. So all that's left is we need to get the loot collection underneath set up, as well as the composters, so that we can start turning half of the loot into bone meal, which will then feed back up into this system, which will keep the entire farm running. And then the other half of the loot will either be collected as moss, or it'll be sent to other farms like the mushroom farm. Now, to be honest, peeps, I'm actually not going to waste your time with the loot system because there's really nothing that special about it. But lucky for you, I've already gone ahead and set it up. So let me just give you a quick rundown, and then we'll do one last final check to make sure that everything is working with this farm. Now, if we head on right down here, this is where I have the loot set up. This chest is going to be for the moss. Right now, I'm just going to have a double chest for it. All this I'm going to rework when I kind of figure out exactly how I want to do it. And then we have these 4 hoppers. We have all of these composting things, and that's going to be fed into this dropper. And then this dropper is just set up to a smart switch. So it's just going to immediately notice when something is in it and then spit it out. You know what, here, I can actually show you. We'll put in a couple porks. There you go. And then they get shot out. Then right over here on this side, I actually have all of them converting into bone meal. This right here is just kind of an overflow of bone meal storage. And then the rest is getting composted and sent into this dropper with its smart switch. And then that's getting sent up top. Now for this bone meal, right now I have it just coming into a chest, but eventually I'm actually going to change this to either feed over into the mushroom farm or perhaps into a shulker loader that I can then take to other farms. Oh, and before I forget, I need to turn on the rails. For a quick look at how that's set up, we just have 2 powered rails, and then this at a curve, and then this basically puts the hopper or the minecart over all 6, and it just kind of helps speed up the loot collection. Well, then we also have this one to turn on over here. Perfect. Okay. Now let's go ahead and make sure that everything is working. Our one last final check. I've already gone ahead and thrown some extra bone meal into here to get the farm started. And then I placed this lantern just to stop mobs from spawning in here. Even though I think the lava is actually bright enough through the glass, but whatever. I think this looks pretty sweet. So anyways, let's go ahead and turn this on. Let's just double check, make sure that we have no cobblestone. Which so far it looks great. Okay, we've already seen this though. Let's take a look to see if the loot is actually doing what it should be. So periodically we should see a bone meal come up here. And we do have to give the system enough time to kind of start composting through things. I'm kind of worried I missed something. Nothing is happening there. Do we have bone meal coming up over here though? Oh, okay, I just saw some. Let's give it another second. Oh, there goes more. Okay, excellent. I figured out what I did wrong, peeps. I forgot a hopper. Man, things are noisy down here. So if we come right on here. Okay, and then that hopper. All right, now we should have like double time speed. There we go. Okay. All right, that looks a whole lot better. Let's just go ahead and double check from up here. Oh no! I totally forgot to put a... Dang, everything is going wrong. I forgot everything just right at the end. We'll grab you. Ooh! Ooh! They're all making it back in. I almost want to keep it like that. That's kind of fun. There. Excellent. All right, gang. Everything looks like it's working. We have bone meal feeding its way in. I think this should be able to stay caught up with itself now. I might have to give it a little bit more bone meal to check, but okay, nope. That one's staying at exactly 64. So we should be making just enough bone meal to support it. And then this one we had problems with, so it'll catch up. I'm sure it'll be fine. We're already up to half a stack, so that's good. Oh, but I'm sure y'all are kind of curious as to the moss output. And it's been, what, 2 minutes? I think this is just absolutely insane. And we're like composting. I mean, over half of the loot we're composting. We already have almost a stack of extra bone meal there. Okay. All right, gang, these farms are just absolutely insane. These are going to be fantastic. I'm so glad that we finally did this. Well, peeps, and with that, I'm going to call it quits for today. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with me. I had an absolute blast. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all in the next episode. Laters!